Function versus feeling. Do you know the difference and the role they play in your health? As we've learned in the past, just because you feel well doesn't mean you are well. And there's a big difference. So how does feeling relate to the function of the body? This is an important story, so pay attention and let us join Dr. Timothy Gay to learn more. Dr. Gay?
I know that you're sitting in the office and you may have a lot of questions. One of the questions that commonly comes up is, why do I have so much pain going on? Well, let me tell you about the difference between pain, function, and structure. Because what happens commonly when you have pain that's going on, you have dysfunction that's going on due to the fact that vertebrae have moved out of place and are putting pressure on the nerves. That dysfunction is actually coming from a subluxation or a vertebra that's moved out of place and is putting pressure on the nerve roots that are coming out of the spine. Now let's go back, because what happens is your body and your brain works at 100%, and as your brain works at 100% and comes out the hole in the back of the skull called the foramen magnum, it goes down through a series of nerves and creates the spinal cord that comes out as nerve roots from the spine. And as it works at 100%, when a vertebra moves out of place, which could be the atlas vertebra, which is the top vertebra in the neck, or the axis vertebra, which is the second vertebra in the neck, or all the way down, if these vertebrae move out of place due to trauma, a bad fall, poor posture, what have you, what happens is these bones that move out of place put pressure on the nerves, and that elicits the pain. So when you're sitting there and you're going, oh, I have pain in all these different areas, what you probably have going on is subluxation. And a subluxation can cause headaches, it can cause paresthesia or arm numbness, it can cause several different problems organically, but what it does is it hinders your ability to be as productive in life as you can be. So when we look at these types of problems, when your brain is working at 100% and it comes down and these vertebrae move out of place, it hinders that 100% life force, or that 100% force that's coming from your brain out to these organs. They talk to each other. It's a switching station or a switchboard from the brain all the way out to the organs. And as they come around and they go out to these different areas, what happens is if they're hindered and they can't function as well as they can or should, the message that goes out to those organs is hindered. And when that happens, you have a problem that can become systemic, can become organic, and then all of a sudden you have pain. I want you to understand too that pain comes in and starts bothering you and stays around for a while, but it's the first thing that's going to go away. And when we look at the structure and the function of the way the spine works, the first thing we want to do is get you back to a point where you're able to function properly. And that doesn't mean getting rid of pain. What it means is actually working from a different standpoint, having a higher level of production in the way that your body functions. So when we have that happen and the pain is gone, the first thing that happens is people think, oh my gosh, I'm all healed, I'm all better. But what we really need to work on is the structure. We don't want to have this problem coming back, because what happens is patients will come and go and they'll look at this thing from a symptomatic standpoint rather than a structural or functional standpoint. And when that happens, they come and go in care. I want to emphasize that getting the structure taken care of, in other words, working on restructuring and rehabilitation of your spine, is going to be far more beneficial for you in the long run, because it's going to take away a lot of the pain, loss of production, and the way that you're able to work and do the things that you do. And the benefits of chiropractic are so huge. When you look at the way that you come into the office in the beginning, and as you gradually go through the phases of care, you will see a huge difference in the way you feel, in the way you're able to do the things that you want to do in life. And there's nothing better than to be able to pick up one of your children or your grandchildren and put them on your knee and be able to play with them. That's such a beautiful thing. Or reaching up over your head, or not having those menacing headaches. And when that happens, when those types of things happen, remember, it's the structure that's causing the problem. And that elicits a subluxation that creates a loss of nerve function. That nerve function is so important in your body, throughout your entire body. Matter of fact, if we took all the skin away from my face, you could still recognize me, because there are so many nerves that are surrounding all these different areas. If everything was just taken out of place, you could still recognize me. That's how many nerves there are just in the face. You can imagine how many nerves there are in the body. So as we work on you today and take care of the types of problems that you've got going on in your spine, we're going to be looking at these subluxations, adjusting these subluxations, and making it so the body's going to function properly. It's going to work structurally better. You're going to have a higher level of production, and more than anything, you're going to be really, really happy in the way that you feel. There's nothing better than being able to walk properly, to have proper structure, to have proper function, good posture, and working on restructuring and rehabilitation, because even though we put the bones back in place, you have to work on the structure yourself as well. And that means exercises, strengthening, and doing the things that you can to help your own posture. We find that as you work together with a doctor and you work hand in hand on getting these things taken care of, you will feel so much better in the long run, that you'll see such a dramatic difference, that you'll tell everybody about it. And more than anything, we want you to understand the difference between the symptoms, the structure, and the function of the body. So I hope this definitely helps you in the way that you are able to explain structure, function, and symptoms to people, because it's not about the symptoms. That's the outcome. That's the pain that's come from the structure and the function. It's about getting the vertebra aligned, making sure that the nerves function properly, and that'll alleviate the pain.